Hello there, thank you for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and here's a really fun and different horizontal, right? How unusual is that? Bob Dylan concert poster from November 1963 from Syracuse, New York. And you gotta love his name in that font, don't you? That Bob Dylan that was used quite a bit around the time, but not always. A lot of posters just have his name in boring plain type. So I really like this font on this original Dylan concert poster. Now, not many of Bob Dylan's concert posters are tied to the civil rights movement. It's rather unusual when they are, but in this case, indeed, you have above Bob's name there, you have CORE Presents, and CORE, of course, was the Congress for Racial Equality. The time was certainly right in Dylan's career. This was the year of the freewheelin'. It had come out back in the spring, but it only hit Billboard's charts just a couple of months ago. So Bob was undoubtedly doing lots of songs from that album. And of course, on the civil rights tip, you had things like Oxford Town, I Shall Be Free, and of course, Blowin' in the Wind. And don't need to say that college campuses were a flashpoint in the civil rights movement, with young, upwardly mobile minds on the leading edge of change in this country. And so it's all just a nice, perfectly timed mashup here with such a good social cause and the spokesman for the generation, if you will. Hey, not only that, but 10 days before this concert, Dylan had recorded the song that would really change a lot of things. The Times They Are A-Changin'. So that would, of course, be the title of his third album, but he just recorded it 10 days ago, so I'm sure he was singing it for sure. Another thing about Dylan's career, at this exact moment, he was really seething. He was pissed about a hatchet job done on him by Newsweek magazine. So he had this concert commitment, but after he did it, he went into hiding for something like 3 weeks and just, hid out and was never quite the same about the press after that. Very distrustful from that point going forward. So the poster here is a 14 by 20 inch cardstock original. This is an original, and I'm here to do some comparing for you. The 14 by 20 part is very important for you to heed that, because the original one was exactly 14 by 20 inches, but the poster has been heavily bootlegged over the years. It was one of these real common popular boots, and that bootleg is slightly smaller. It's 13.5 by 19.5 inches. Now, it's a good thing the bootleg was made slightly smaller than the original, because if it had been made slightly larger, then unethical people, whatnot, would trim it down and say, see, it's 14 by 20, but you can't trim something up. You can't expand the size. So if you get out your ruler and you have this poster, you can check to see if you have an original or not. There's another way of telling as well, which is a little less reliable, but it's actually very factual, but it's just not as easy to get over the phone as it is with a simple measurement. And here is, by the way, the bootleg, the 13.5 by 19.5 inch bootleg, and I'm sure you're already going, God, look how close that is. Yeah, it's a dead ringer. It's very, very good, except for that size difference. But also, there's another key difference, and it involves Bob Dylan's ear, believe it or not. And I'm going to come in sort of close for you here, and at the outside edge of the dark inner part of his ear, there's two squiggly white lines, sort of like little worms. That is merely a printer's flaw, and that is present on all the reproductions. And so that's one way you can tell the boots. And let me immediately pull in for you on the original again, on Dylan's ear, so you can see the lack of any such squiggly marks. There we go. See that? It's just like pure black and stuff. So that's another key way to tell beside the size, for sure. And the bootlegs, by the way, have been around for a long time. I think they might have started in the 70s or the 80s. And so lots of people, have a really old-looking, faded and everything boot, and they think, gee, this looks so old, it must be original. But it's in fact just a 40-year-old reprint, not done for legitimate commercial sale, just done by some enterprising entrepreneur who wanted to sell it at record swap meets and things. So, but the better a bootleg is done, the more happy the casual fan is, aren't they? It's only the collector that gets uptight, because it's like, oh, we got to have a first printing and all that stuff. But, when it comes to the casual fan who just wants a great looking Bob Dylan concert poster on their wall, who cares about the white squiggly lines in his ear? And you just take a little black marker, I suppose, and fill those in and get rid of it, and nobody will notice. So. And then there's ticket details. I'd like to point that out, last but not least, here under Bob Dylan's name, the Regent Theater. It's a University Regent Theater box office is where they're available, and the Corner Store box office. Let's see if I can get in close enough so you can see that. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. For information or reservations, call, it's got a phone number, or write to Core with a Syracuse address. And then below that artistic bug, I really like that, it just says Columbia Records, very, subtly and understated, but very nice. Interestingly, by the way, this exact layout for this poster, exactly, was used, 9 days prior for Dylan's show at Town Hall in Philadelphia. So there's actually 2 original Bob Dylan concert posters with this layout, Philadelphia, and this one in Syracuse, New York. So I like it. I like the horizontal layout. It's quite different, and it's, you take this, talk about a photograph on a concert poster. What is that, half or more than half? Big picture of Bob with his harmonica and acoustic guitar, and then his name in that font is just beautiful. You got the Core, the Silver Rights ingredient and everything. So it's a sweet poster. It's really nice. Key time for Dylan. Touring off the freewheeling, having just recorded The Times They Are A-Changin'. Wow. So popular poster. No wonder they bootlegged it. So anyway, there's both for you, the original and the reproduction. And I hope you picked up a tip today. And thanks for stopping by, and hope to see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.